In the 3 books and 61 chapters of On Free Choice of the Will, Augustine enters into a Platonic dialogue with the interlocutor Evodius. Their discussion is precipitated when Evodius asks if God is the cause of evil. Out of the gate, Augustine asks if Evodius wants to know about the evil done or the evil suffered. Evodius wants to know about both forms of evil. Augustine states that if God is good, he cannot do evil. However, God is also just and punishes those who commit evil. Those receiving the punishment would view their just deserts as evil, and God would be the source of that evil. However, God does not commit evil of the first variety. Evodius wants to know what causes the first variety of evil if God does not do it. Augustine answers that there is no single cause of evil. Rather, each of us is responsible for the evil we voluntarily commit. Evodius concludes that to commit evil or to sin requires some form of education and asks Augustine, who is the teacher of sin? Augustine enters into an aside about learning where he asks if learning is a good or bad thing. Learning must be good since knowledge is the yield from learning. If learning is a good thing, then we cannot learn evil. The question then becomes, what induces people to commit evil? Augustine feels he must conclude that evil arises when we give up on learning. In chapter 2, Evodius is convinced that learning cannot yield sin. However, he agonizes over whether or not the sin souls create can ultimately be referenced back to God. Augustine confesses the same worry troubled him when he was a young man. In chapter 3, if Augustine is going to give a better account for the source of evildoing than merely turning away from learning, he must first know precisely what evildoing is. Augustine asks Evodius to take an example of evildoing, such as adultery, and explain precisely why it is evil. Every rationale Evodius invokes fails in Augustine's eyes. Augustine considers that adultery and perhaps all evildoing arise from inordinate desire. Augustine illustrates this with the whole Jimmy Carter problem. If one lusts for or covets his neighbor's wife in his heart and is not caught, he has committed evil similarly to the man who has been caught, reprimanded, and condemned. Augustine claims both are guilty. This is convincing enough to Evodius that any instance of evildoing originates with inordinate desire. Excuse me. We are just beginning this text, so it is way too early to issue critical conclusions, but keep this thought with you. Is it truly evil to have but not act upon inordinate desire? Is such an inordinate desire co-equal with the desire that a man gives into, resulting in adultery? That seems really strange. Further, might there be something virtuous to the man plagued by inordinate desire who restrains himself?